Yep, all good over here. Someone's saying I've got mine going at the moment. I guess OBS in case you can't get yours working.
I think I got it.
Some junk in
Okay,
the
I'm going to
chat.
start the recording.
No, Orbot
Hello,
doesn't have
everyone.
any eyes, so they can't watch, sadly.
But yes, welcome everybody to the community stage. Thanks for giving us a few minutes to get everything set up. We are good to go. This will, of course, be uploaded later for those who want to re-listen to it or those who weren't able to make it today. We gathered some questions in general chat yesterday that we can start off with, and then we can, of course, take any questions in the chat as well. Allie, did you want to check out those questions in that ticket and kind of pick which ones you want to talk about first?
I think yeah, I'll wait a couple minutes just to do some small talk, perhaps while some people join. But I can get Kara's one out of the way just because there's an easy answer and it's really her who's most excited. Maybe I'm wrong. And Kara's question was, where is my Highland cow? Yes, the cow. It is somewhere. It may even be somewhere that doesn't even exist in the real world. So that's something we'll need to work on. But that might potentially be the next pet, just because it's been a little while since we came out with a pet. But that's the most I can give right now. And
Okay.
then, I mean, let me gauge.
We
Yeah, I
can
was just
talk
gonna.
about the Highland pet more privately
Yeah, yeah,
and make
yeah,
a
yeah,
plan for it.
yeah, yeah. Um, who's been looking? Who's first of all, who has pets here in this audience? Does anyone have any pets? Oh, damn. Okay, it's like half of you at least. Um, yeah. What's the pets that you are looking forward to that don't exist yet? Be right back. One second.
While we're waiting on Allie, we can talk about the tournament. One of the questions that was asked was, what inspired you to host a parkour tournament? Did it go as expected after the event? Which I can answer. So the parkour tournament was inspired by the fact that we had some new mechanics coming out for it, and we were really excited and wanted to find a fun way to show those to you and for you guys to experience those. Another thing that kind of coincided with that was that the Minecraft movie was coming out, and we wanted to have an event around the similar time that the Minecraft movie was coming out so that it gave our community something to do, with the renewed interest of the movie. So, yeah, it was kind of twofold. It was also another thing was we wanted to test out some of the new tournament mechanics. Like the devs did a lot of coding and stuff for this tournament specifically that we've never really done this kind of thing before, and it was definitely a test to that. And yeah, overall, we think it went really well. There were definitely a few things we could improve upon. We did have a meeting after the tournament ended amongst ourselves where we discussed things that went really well, things we thought we could do better. So yeah, overall for our first run, we're quite happy with how it went. And we believe we can definitely improve upon it as time goes. So yeah, that answers that question. Do you want to take the mic again, Allie?
Yeah, no, yeah, pretty much what you said. I think like one of the highlights is for parkour tournament being like the choice there. Because actually initially it wasn't parkour that was selected, or at least it wasn't on the table as one of the options we had when we had first started work on the parkour tournament. Um, but yeah, we pushed for it. We got it done. I think it ran pretty well. It was fairly smooth, I would say, at least for pretty much everyone. But it was really a highlight, you know. Um, it was really to highlight the fact that there's, nearly now, I think, 300,000 maps. And we wanted to kind of tap into that potential. And so that's why we also open up the voting for everyone to be able to get involved and give their opinion on what maps they like. Um, and yeah, I mean, I can share some quick numbers really quickly now, just off the top of my head. But yeah, when it came to the voting, there was thousands involved in both stages. So there's a lot of activity from the community. Even though you may look in this channel and think, actually, we're, a handful of 20 people maybe in here. There is a lot of people that play parkour that don't join Discord. So, um, yeah, there was a good few thousand there, and then on top of that, I think there was just over 7,000 people who actually did participate in the parkour tournament, meaning they had a position on the leaderboard. Um, and yeah, so a lot of activity, a lot of healthy activity. I think it was a pretty good, fairly split competition in terms of allowing people to select the maps, of course, but then us selecting from the maps that were voted what we thought was fair. And that was just basically like trying to select a different range of maps. Um, Yeah. And of course, maybe some people might have had some questions about the leaderboard results that came out. The goal was to essentially have 100 unique winners. And so there was some questions around like how someone was getting, referred to as a winner, even though they weren't on the top 10 leaderboard. So that's something that we wanted to do in order to, get 100 unique winners, and I think it worked out pretty well. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I think it was overall a big success. It was a big learning experience, and we had a lot of fun doing it. I also want to give a huge shout out to you guys, the community, because we had a Discord event to end the tournament. We did not have to give out one warning, one infraction. Everyone was extremely polite, respectful, helpful, supportive, kind. Not one bad thing to say. And that was really special and meant a lot to us. So yeah, thank you guys for those of you who attended that and participated in being such amazing members of the community. We really appreciate that.
heck yeah. Thank you all. Okay. Anything else with regards to parkour tournament that anyone wanted to mention on the stage that you wanted to let people know about? I mean, yeah, we can ask for questions directly now, Gwen, or like on this topic, I mean, or we can just come back to it later.
Well, it would be good to kind of keep the tournament discussion kind of in one section.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have any specific tournament related questions, now would be a great time. Sorry, Salty Shout has asked one. Which staff member got the best time on any map?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Callan or Seb that beat
It
each
was
other
Seb.
on Seb beat Indiana. Okay, fair.
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
elevator.
yeah, the Elevate HQ. That's the one I think we were playing around on. There was a good fierce competition for about a whole 2 days whilst we were working, so that was good.
I probably had the worst time, so just another fun
I swear
fact.
you no, you made it to the leaderboard, didn't you? Officially at one point.
in the
top 10.
beginning, but many
Yeah,
people quickly surpassed me then. It didn't take long.
yeah. What were there any maps that was considered at any point but ended up not making it to the top 100 or top 10? So again, this is just how the vote ran for the most part. So we didn't actually want. So there was. I'll leak some information, but there was. Initially, there wasn't actually a talk about voting. It was just kind of like, we're gonna go out and do a staff picks approach of saying, these are the maps we like. This is what we're gonna go for, and then in on top of that, there was discussions of potentially building new maps, like from our staff team, build new maps for the parkour tournament. But I think we came to the agreement that it probably works out better that we would involve like the community's vote on it. And so it just really was like, hey, here's 250,000 maps that you can vote for, or from, sorry. Um, and yeah, we just kind of left it up to that. So pretty much what you see as the final top 100 and the final top 10 are very, very close to what was actually voted. Some things we had to remove because of duplication in terms of like either the experience itself was pretty similar to another map that made it near enough to the top 100 maps, but um, yeah, that was all resolved fairly, I would say.
We were also careful not to select any maps that were created by people who've been banned from the
Yeah.
server. That was another thing that we checked. Um, yeah, that was a great question.
Another one.
Yeah, is there anything you would have wanted to do differently now that the tournament's over? I have several answers to this, but I'll let you start, Allie.
I mean, I don't really have a lot of answers. Obviously, in hindsight, there's a million things you can say, but I think the biggest thing for me was like considering whether it would have been wiser to run it for longer than 7 days or not, because it's not always just, throw more time at it and it works out. I think there's a sweet like spot in terms of how long this should run, and I'm not sure if 7 days is really the best answer, but we can play around with that number in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I like the idea of like a month-long tournament or something like that. I think would be really cool. We definitely want to do other tournaments like this in the future.
Heck yeah.
I would have liked to have textures for the models of the little maps, which I know we talked about in our post tournament meeting. So that's something we're going to look into for the future. I know there were some technicalities behind it that prevented us from having that for this tournament, but that is definitely something that was on my list for that. But yeah, that's a really good question. Callan and Seb, do you guys have anything to add to that one?
Or Serene as well.
I don't think
Yeah,
so. I think it was basically all said.
Yeah, I think you said it well.
okay, cool. Let me scroll up here, see what the next question is. Can you share the most amount of votes that a map got, not reveal which one got the most, but just how many votes the top voted map got? I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, so we have a spreadsheet, which I don't think we're going to leak, but it has like it basically has all the information we have on from the first day till the very last day in terms of all the different votes that came in and the winners that was selected, the top runs, all that stuff. But yeah, in the first round of voting, I won't give the whole list, but in the first round of voting, Lab Complex was the most voted for map, with 50 votes. I'd just like to highlight that Lab Complex didn't exist, even days or weeks before the vote started. So that was it was nice to see it on top. And of course, a lot of people were playing it, so it probably was an easier choice to vote for. Um, And then I think in the second round we had Cyber Parkour was the top voted format in the second round. And Lab Complex got second place, so it would have got first place, but it was beaten by Cyber Parkour. I don't know if that answers anything.
Yeah.
What was that question?
I mean, I guess, can we give them a number? Like, how many?
Yeah, so the first vote was 47 for sorry, no. The first vote was 50 for Lab Complex and the second vote was 50 for Cyber Parkour.
Very cool.
For like the top vote map, yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Would the formatting for potential future tournaments be different? If so, what aspects? Formatting in the sense of like how you determine the winner. Like this was obviously a time-based tournament, so it was all about like who got the quickest time. Obviously that kind of format would not work for many of our games. That would really only work for like a small handful of our games. So if we were to do it for a different kind of game, we would obviously have to change the winning conditions in that sense. But there are a few games that we could do it time based, like we did with this one, like Hyper Racers, for example. I could see being time based, or maybe The Entity, something like that. So yeah, sky's the limit really with tournaments. It's just a matter of coming up with something fun and creative. If you guys have any ideas for tournaments like this, feel free to drop them in the suggestions thread under the community section. And yeah, we can check them out.
Yeah, just to reiterate on that, like in terms of even this tournament, like how it ran and everything, like internally we were definitely figuring out problems as we went along. Not to say, that's not normal. We always have problems, we always resolve them. So even if we thought that this tournament ran perfectly or ran pretty damn well, uh, keep sending your suggestions through in terms of how this tournament ran, or if it gives you any ideas on how another tournament should be ran in another experience, perhaps maybe it's not parkour or anything like that. And of course, we'll do our best to follow those suggestions, but we don't necessarily want to guarantee that we'll follow it exactly the way it was described in the suggestion.
Cool.
Just reading out GGBot's question, did the Exodus version of the Cats and Rhymes map also get top 10? I'm not sure what the Exodus version is. Is that in the name of it? Or because I see there's Cats and Rhymes make happy times. Is that, I'm guessing, the map? Probably. Yeah, I'm not too sure to be honest, but I'll wait on the reply. But yeah, there was a Cats. Okay, they made it on Note 30, and then their main for the tournament. Okay, right, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, yeah. So the Cats and Rhymes one did make it to the top. It made it to the top 20 in the first vote, and in the second vote, it made it to the top 10. So yeah, close but no cigar, as they say.
Cool. Next question is, what was your favorite part of hosting this tournament? You want to start, Allie?
Favorite part of hosting this tournament? I think just bringing in a new idea, to be honest with you, like trying something new. It was definitely in the beginning there was some questions around, do we really want to commit to this or not? And I think that, we put our minds to it and we got it done. I think we got it done to a pretty good standard. And generally speaking, I think the whole thing running and being successful is the biggest takeaway for me. I don't know if anyone's ever played a tournament before on Galaxite, but it doesn't usually run as smooth as the Parkour one ran this time.
Well, one thing I really liked about this tournament was that anyone could participate. You don't need to be a member of the Discord. And we were able to still communicate enough with those people and have the information available on our website, again, not needing Discord. So this included all of the people who are too young to use Discord, or who just don't know how, or maybe aren't allowed. There's a huge section of our community there that doesn't interact with us here, so it included them, which was my favorite part about the tournament. And my favorite part of running it was definitely that event that we did at the end of it. That was so fun. We had a really great time. We played hide and seek. We demoed some of the maps. We showed off some of the ghost runs. It was just a lot of fun. We had a really great time. And again, everyone was very well behaved.
Yeah, super.
Yeah, which I feel like also segues nicely into another question that was asked, or what about more artsy, creative type competitions or tournaments? I really like those, but the downside is they do disclude that section of our community. So we probably will still do those occasionally. But I would love to do more things like this one that are able to include everybody. And of course not everyone's an artist either, so the people, really the player base that would enter that kind of competition is a lot smaller than for other kinds of competitions, but that doesn't mean we'll never do them again.
Absolutely.
I'm not seeing any more tournament related questions. People are starting to ask other questions that aren't related to tournaments, so maybe it's time to move on from that.
Yeah, we can move on. There was a couple, but they're not really that insane. There was one which was, what was your favorite tournament map? I personally
Oh, I
don't
missed
think
that
I
one.
have a favorite one, but I think Elevate HQ is the one we played quite a bit. At least I did, but yeah, I tried all of them. Yeah. There was another question as well, which was, where did the hacker slash cheats menu idea come up from? Which was it came from our minds, from our collective thinking. We wanted to concept a way to expand the features of the parkour play, and that was what came to mind. But yeah, it's not necessarily the best addition we've done, but I would say that it's there for people to use if they want to. But if there's other better ideas that you can think about in terms of parkour play, then or parkour builders, I should say. Sorry. Please let us know. The block one is pretty fun, yeah. The movement bundle, I presume. But yeah, cool. That's pretty much like all the questions, I think, unless I missed any on that topic.
Nope, I don't see any.
Yeah.
But someone did ask something on our list that was also asked yesterday by a different player. And that is, what are the plans for when the server turns 5 years old? Is there going to be any kind of special event or anything like that?
Yes, we will. We will. 1 second, actually. Yeah, we'll be working on something. But in the meantime, I guess I can just like leak this GIF.
Leaks.
Hopefully it doesn't leak anything much more. But this is towards our next release that we're working on. Yeah, some people might look at that and think we've got a leak and that's why they're mopping up. Yeah, washing simulator, we should have made power wash. Oh, damn. But maybe for next time.
New game idea.
Yeah. But yeah, this is our next project that we're working on. It won't feel like there's much that you can interpret from that, maybe, but it's something new that we're working on. We're borrowing on from ideas that we've been working on in the past year or so, and it's exciting so far. It's been a project that's been in development for about at least 2 months. I want to say about 2 months now. Um, so yeah, it's getting a lot of attention, this one.
Exciting.
Yep, yep.
Okay. What's the next game that will have a major update?
So beyond
Uh,
what was just mentioned. Oh yeah, do you want to take it?
That's okay. You can go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, beyond what was mentioned, there's a few ideas floating around, but nothing confirmed yet. Um, but it may be possible that we, depending on how our schedule works out over the next, say, 6 months, just because we got projects that we work on, in addition to Galaxite, the server that you guys play on as well. So sometimes we'll need to go in and out of certain projects, and over the next few months, it may be that we are releasing a new experience. But not necessarily planning out like big updates, like big planned updates for existing games. Um, yeah, but I mean, hey, if there's if there's any kind of preference in terms of what people think needs to be updated next, then obviously just spam it up in the chat and put suggestions as well, please, so we can review them and figure out where we need to put attention as well.
We're
Yeah, we
excited to
can try
see all
stuff like
the.
that. So,
What are you referencing?
um,
Sorry.
okay, sorry, a few questions. So yeah, sorry. What I was just saying, Salty was saying, could Farm Life go free for a week alongside the fifth birthday celebrations? It could do really well. I agree. I think it could do really well. I don't want to give a solid answer right now on that just yet. Um, but yeah, it's the kind of thing that it has been on my mind, but executing it, we want to do it properly. Um, but yeah, we'll have a look. Um, there is a question by Hoshi, which is, will the new experience be a new beta game, or will it be done and playable for everyone from the get-go? The new experience is going to be playable by everyone. Um, but you could also call it a beta. I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, hey, everything we release is a beta for the first, week or so or month or whatever
I was
until
gonna
we fix
say
our
that
bugs.
we are kind of it is kind of beta at first, but it gets there
Yeah,
in the end. You guys are excellent bug testers.
absolutely. Thank you for that. Is that oh, with someone? Yeah, go.
There's a few questions we missed, I think, from a little further up in the chat. I know somebody asked about like new season when question mark. Do we want to talk about that? Or say anything about that?
The new season for the Battle Pass is not currently being worked on. But we can, if it's something that we want to fit in our roadmap, we will be able to iterate pretty quickly on that, to get it done. But it's not a priority right now in terms of all the features we're working on and all the bug fixing, of course, and everything else. But yeah. I guess like again, if it's something that people are really wanting to see an update for, like a new season, then just keep those suggestions coming in and make sure your voice is heard.
Yeah, we're really excited to see all of the suggestions you guys drop into the thread after today's stage. Seb, did you want to reply to that question? Voice?
Yeah. We do plan to do doors and trapdoors. They were actually meant to go out with the recent mechanics that released. And it was kind of leaked on the changelog website, I believe. But yeah, water will come at a later date. We still need to decide how we want to do water.
All right, shall we maybe talk about my farm life? I know people have been asking what the updates are on that or what is planned for it.
Yeah, so my farm life has been it's been a thing that's been on our minds in terms of getting the updates out for it. But as far as it's gone, we've really only like worked on ideas, but not so much implementation of those ideas. And I think that's something will soon hopefully be able to have a chat about and work towards getting those ideas actually in for everyone who tries the game and plays it. So yes, you guys will obviously I don't want to make any promises, but you should be getting something eventually.
I got your back, guys. Don't worry.
Mhm.
Let's see. We kind of already
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about a new season thing. What about a hub? Do we have any plans for our hub?
Um, Nothing too spicy, to be honest with you. I think like to say that we won't see something in the summer, maybe like a theme. Um, I don't want to say such like statements, but I think if we um yeah, if we can allocate like a good amount of time, we'll probably get a good hub going for us that's summer themed. But other than that, I guess maybe this isn't obvious, but the structure of the current hub that we have in terms of like if you've seen it close to a year ago when it first came out, and now it's pretty much the same hub with minor changes here and there. We're looking to really stick to that pattern. Although we have pretty much said that like every year, I'm pretty sure. Like we've said like, oh, this is gonna be the final hub or whatever. Um, we just learn new lessons every time we work on a new update and we figure things out. And I think we're pretty settled on the current hub with all the features that it has. But from here on, it will really just feel like the Halloween update where you get like a different skin of the map. Plus some changes like in the Christmas time we had a tree stuck out of under the sign. If anyone remembers.
Let's see. Landia asked, will there be any more crossovers like the Croco Island?
Um. So I mean, yeah. So if it's a general question, as in like in the future, I'm sure I don't want to cancel anything out, but these come and go, so we don't. For example, like with the Croco Island, we're working with Lacoste and we're trying to make an experience that works with them. But it's not every day that you get people like Lacoste, a massive fashion company that comes to your door and asks, to do a collaboration. So that's kind of why it can be a bit sporadic at times. But we've always got we're always ready to take on a new client, if you will.
Heck yeah. We got a Melvin's Mine question here. The tokens. Are there any plans to give tokens more use besides resetting the mine and 48-hour expansion unlocks? Do you have any plan to have more ways to obtain tokens, such as buying them directly with mine coins or perhaps making them rewards for certain levels in future battle passes?
So there's a yes in there somewhere, but I don't want to say it with certainty with one thing or another that was said in that question. So generally speaking, is there a way we can reward players mine tokens, for certain activities? Like right now, the only way to earn mine tokens is by purchasing a pickaxe or the expansion packs. Those give mine tokens, but anything beyond that, you can't actually acquire any mine tokens. Although this was done by design, we intentionally did that. Um, there's great value in allowing people to earn mine tokens. I think some changes are still pending around that, like getting the right balance of mine tokens earned per purchase versus that experience, whatever it may be that comes. Um, but it provides a lot of value because you can obviously rent out the expansion areas. Just to answer the first part of that question, can you purchase it directly? Probably not, but I don't want to say no definitively. I think in the future that no may change, but we don't have any plans to like sell our currency for mine coins directly right now.
Cool. Let's see. There's a lot of chat going on right now. It's hard to keep up with the questions.
Yeah, maybe if you guys could put like a big Q prefix before your question, it might help us filter through some.
We don't want to discourage chat, of course.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody asked, "Do you have plans to add lore for the NPCs in the hub?" Well, some of them already have lore. Not all of them, of course, but there is definitely lore to many of the NPCs in the hub. Sam and Danny, of course, probably being the most well known. Professor
Yeah, I'm
Chipstick.
not I'm not actually too familiar with every single piece of lore connection that can be made with what's in the hub. But I'm not even sure exactly on that question. I'm not sure who's asking it, but that question in general, like, is there more? Are you asking more towards experiences in the hub, or are you talking about the visual aesthetic of like a, Sam's skin, for example, being lore? Yeah.
We can definitely build on the lore though. Like I'm probably the most lore knowledgeable on the team, so that would be more up my alley. That I would end up being the one to expand on that. So that I can definitely do that if that's something you guys want. I know some
Yeah.
people really love lore. Some people don't care about it,
Mhm.
but then others do.
Yeah, so as I anticipated, I think Burger Cat was asking the question earlier about the lore, right, Gwen? I didn't see the question.
I forget who asked it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'd have
But
to scroll up quite a bit.
yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I see it now. Okay, yeah. So Burger Cat, to respond to your question, or rather, what Burger Cat said was, I would like to see a way to interact with them instead of them being visuals for the hub. So yeah, that's kind of where we can definitely build more lore in terms of like punching it and something happens. Um, we're not actively working on that side of things right now. So uh, don't expect anything soon, but it may be that we start adding forms or using those NPCs in the future for some purpose or another. But they each have like their own little thing going on. They got their animations and whatever else of what they're doing. So there's a little bit going on. Hoshi says, question, lobby fishing or my farm life vote fishing when? 100 emoji. When indeed, yeah. I think if something like that went in the main hub, I presume by lobby you're talking about main hub, but if we put a game like that in the main hub, we try to stay very, very simple. So like when you think about the vehicles that are kind of near the shore or shores, I guess, you just punch the vehicle, you press W or forwards, and it just goes. There isn't really anything about it, like anything more to it. Sorry. If we were to do fishing in the main hub, it would probably be exactly the same thing, where you right click, a bob pops out, and something comes up maybe, but we wouldn't make it into a fully like fledged game kind of thing. But if it was added to my farm life, which I don't want to say it's going to be done or not, it's been discussions about that specifically, but yeah, if it was in my farm life, obviously there's a lot more we can be doing there. Gwen NPC, when you interact with her, says, "Hi, I'm Gwen," and then stays her job title or says her job title. Um, yeah, I don't even remember that being a thing, I guess.
That would.
Sorry, is that a suggestion? Sorry, I might.
I think it is, but I don't know how
Right.
I feel about it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe to everybody else that sounds cool, but to me, I'm like, oh, cringe. I don't want to be in the hub.
Yeah. Yeah. Replace every NPC with Gwen. Yes, that sounds like a good April Fool's.
Next April 1st.
Okay, I don't know if we've missed more. There's a lot coming in at the bottom, but let me just scroll up really quickly just to confirm any quick ones.
Just real quick, we only have 10 minutes left, so get your last minute questions in. And if we missed a question, just copy paste it again. If you can, that'll help us.
Yes. One question was, when will ancient debris get added to Melvin? Big Q. That is a good question. I think there's just some issues we're experiencing with the pickaxes and being able to break those blocks, and we haven't fully resolved them yet. So, it's not the highest priority on our list right now, but I can see I've seen this come up a few times at least now, so we'll probably come back to this topic in the near future. And then there was another one which was I'm sure this has already been asked, but do you have any plans for future parkour tourneys? I'm kind of an addict. Well, we're happy to fulfill that addiction temporarily for that week. Maybe there will be more parkour tourneys. We had a discussion in like the first half of this about parkour stuff. But yes, I don't know where this is going to be uploaded, Gwen, by the way. Is there information going to be shared later on with people? This recording?
Yeah, I'll upload it later today and then share the link.
Okay, just in the interest of not wasting people's time, what's up? We'll let you watch that recording then, and we can move on to other questions if that's okay. What other games could you be considering for the server-wide tournament like parkour? Okay, same thing again. You can re-watch the recording for some answers there, please. Um, could we see a way to kind of advertise the wiki in game like the server announcements? Potentially, yeah, absolutely. If you want to get that logged somewhere, maybe we can get that done next week. Okay, any other questions coming in now? Quite a few. Any questions you guys saw that you think should be answered now? Oh, there is.
How
There's one
often
question. Oh yeah.
do community stages? How often will we do community stages, and when is the next one? We kind of do them as needed in some ways. We hadn't had one in a while, which is why we did this one. Also, we just had the tournament, so we wanted to get feedback from you guys on that and answer your questions that you had. But yeah, I'd say like I think every few months or something like that. I think is pretty good, right? No set schedule really, but just as needed every few months. I think would be the best answer for that.
Yeah, in the past when we've done the community stages, we've had like sometimes a plan, sometimes not. In this case, we don't really have much of a plan with the stage. We're just kind of really taking it as, talking through the recent things that have been happening as well as a Q&A session. So if you felt like there's a more appropriate plan, again, use the suggestions channel so you can pass that information on to us and we can evaluate and of course reiterate on that information. There is a question which I just don't want to skip because I know Kurt has posted it again. Question: will law ever be implemented into actual gameplay? ARG maybe. I'm not sure how long you've been around, Kurt, but we have done this before in the past. Actually, we've ran at least 2 ARGs, right? I might be mistaken, but the latest one we ran actually took a very, very long time for people to solve, and so maybe that's why we've taken a break. But there was a lot of head scratching from a lot of people in the community trying to figure out what was going on. But in the end, I think months later, someone finally figured it out. So yeah, more space for that in the future. If there's any suggestions around what kind of ARG experiences you're wanting to see involved in that whole thing, then share that information as well, please, so we can, do our best to provide that experience.
Cool. I think we have time for probably one or two more questions before we wrap it up for the day.
In the old days, there was a parkour hub, and there is easy and hard all give you a title. So can we see the parkour hub again? I'm not sure I fully understand the question. Sorry. Hub parkours. Yeah, in main hub. There's parkour hub in there. Oh, I see. So do they not give titles, Seb? I can't remember. I thought the
don't.
parkours gave.
They gave
Oh, okay,
hard
fair enough.
points.
Right. Okay.
Oh, apparently
Um,
they do. I was mistaken.
they still do. Yeah. One per course. Okay, yeah, cool, nice. Is that? I'm not sure, Ryu, if that's what you were asking about, those titles in the main hub parkours, or if there's something else. But yeah, we'll come back to that if you post it at the bottom. Can you remind us of how often? Oh, well, we did that one. Sorry, the community stage. Um, 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 wait. Oh, never mind. Ignore me. I am just ripping. Do you guys plan a way to toggle on or off notices in chat? Notices being the announcement messages or something else? Will there ever be a new Sam and Danny map? Maybe. I'm not going to comment on that. Have you got a couple more minutes, Gwen, or do you want to wrap it up?
Did we leak something
I
more?
mean, we
'Cause
can.
the leak was potentially
can-
misleading, to be fair.
Wait, but I mean, up to you. I'm not going to stop
You don't
you
have
from
to.
leaking.
Do it,
Yeah.
Callan. Do it.
The
Everyone
No, it's
tell
fine.
Callan to do it.
the
It's
leak.
just I don't want people to think it's a cleaning simulator. It's not a cleaning simulator, guys.
Oh my
Say
god! Now
do
you
it in
leaked it,
chat if
Alan.
you
Now
want him
they
to do
know.
it. Say do
At
it.
least
Do
if
it.
they know
Do it.
that. I don't want to give it.
Just
give
upload the
away
whole
what it is.
files. Give them everything. At this we've got a lot of assets. I'm sure we can pick one more, but maybe the problem is we don't want to
This-
leak too much. Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to whet the appetite a little bit.
Kurt says, "Give us the whole document." That's bold of you to assume there is a document in the first place.
Is this too much to leak? I just sent
Do
you
you know
DMs.
who you're talking to?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, but it's gonna be read pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's okay
like,
for them to know what it is. It's just
yeah.
I think the first one looked. I apologize.
About a minute out now, Gwen. I don't know if there's any wrapping up comments. Sorry, not rapping like rap. You know.
Yeah, I can't rap. But yeah, I appreciate you all coming here today and asking us all these amazing questions. I think we covered a lot of topics. This was definitely a very full hour. The recording will be up on YouTube soon. Thank you all for coming, and you are all awesome. Yeah, hope to see you all at the next one.
Yeah, and just if I'll be in the general chat for a couple minutes if there's any last questions that weren't answered, if you want to post them in there as well. But thank you all very much for attending and for your time.